Being a bilingual speaker has and always will be a useful trait, but in southern Arizona, it's almost become imperative.
Here at Ross Scrooge Bilingual Magnet School, we are a K-8 school. We have a dual language model. In kinder through fifth grade, the students are in two different, within the grade level, have two different teachers. One is their English teacher, one is their Spanish teacher. So in each class, that's the language they hear. That's the only language they hear in there. And there's a schedule where they switch them at midday, and then the following week you're with a different class in the morning part versus the afternoon, so that we're not translating everything. So there's some weeks where you hear language arts in one language. The following week you're going to have language arts in the other language, and it's a spiral. You're building on. If one week you read one story, the following week we have books that are English and Spanish books of the same literature series, but you're continuing with that story that you left off the week before, but you do it in the other language. So what the students are really learning is just the vocabulary. In our society, obviously, English has much more importance because English equals money, dollars, jobs, and so forth. But I still think it's very important that students are able to be bilingual, biliterate. Students are understanding it's creating opportunities for them, so that as they move on to high school, they can take additional courses or take it at a higher level. And obviously, what we want them to is make themselves much more marketable when they leave college, when they get to college, when they leave college. Many more opportunities, doors that are going to open for them for speaking a second language, especially here in the Southwest. It's foolish to think that learning a second language is going to hurt you. As there's some individuals out there that seem to have that view. There's no way it can hurt you. It's only going to help you.
A lot of the research that I do now is based around that and the benefits. Everyone talks about the benefits of bilingualism, and it's true. There's lots of research that show things like that, where they say, like, look at what these bilingual kids can do that monolingual kids don't seem to do as well. And you got to take that kind of stuff with a grain of salt, because there's also a lot of perception research, for example, that shows that early bilingual specifically don't, for example, perceive sounds in their language as fast as a monolingual does. So you could say that, I wouldn't even say that's not a disadvantage, but it's just you just see the differences, not only in advantages, but also in things where, like, all right, this person's slower at perceiving a vowel contrast, for example. But yeah, there's lots of things that are interesting like that. I think what it shows you, especially with the example that you just gave, is that the bilingual's always dealing with two worlds, right? And they got to separate and decide, and you got to kind of match things up, and that's kind of like a way of seeing secondhand how that process kind of works. And as I'm saying, you can see how it's because of the way the brain is structured, they're better at certain tasks, and then other tasks that they take longer to do. So you see a little bit of everything.
Even in activities as simple as sports, being bilingual has its advantages.
Yeah, there have been some families that we've talked to that have got a chance to speak to them in Spanish and put them at ease a little bit, comfort them a little bit that their son's not going to a completely desolate place, so to speak. I had a catcher at Florida that I used to be able to call pitches in the Spanish language. It was kind of nice. Because it was easy, like in Starkville and Auburn and Alabama, to speak the Spanish language, and I'd say, me mismo, same one, and this and that. That was kind of neat.